Hey everyone, I'm Sixpath Weeb, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into a fanfic scenario that's got everyone talking. What if Sasuke found out Naruto was a girl during a mission? Part 2. Just a quick note, all content on this channel is meant for entertainment and discussion. I don't own any of the anime footage used, full credits go to the original creators and copyright holders. Alright, let's jump right in. You're Kakashi-sensei, aren't you? You used Henge no Jutsu to transform, Naruto shouted, pointing at the figure before her. Her clone giggled and dashed around, and soon, all of her copies were bumping into each other, arguing and pointing fingers. One clone finally stopped, panting, her face red from all the exertion. Hey! Why don't you just release the jutsu? Then you'll know which one is real, there'll only be two, the clone wheezed. Oh! You should have realized sooner, dummy, Naruto exclaimed, glaring at her clone. But I'm you, moron. The clone shot back. With a sigh, Naruto released the jutsu, and in a puff of sparkling smoke, all the clones disappeared. She was alone again, brushing herself off. That was Kawarimi no Jutsu, idiot, Sasuke muttered to himself. His eyes flicked toward Naruto, concern softening his usual serious expression. He noticed her frown, a tiny hint of discomfort on her face. Naruto's stomach rumbled. Uncool. Why do I feel worse than I should? She muttered, annoyed at herself. Sasuke crouched near a berry bush, thinking carefully. Maybe I can find her a few berries so she can take her medicine. At the same moment, Naruto's sharp eyes caught a bell lying in the dirt. A bell. She squealed, running over. He must have been desperate to escape. Dropped it, hee. She bent to pick it up, but before her fingers could touch it, her feet were yanked out from under her. Huh? She bounced lightly from the rope trap. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. A trap, obviously. But even while playing, Kakashi-sensei leaves no openings. Naruto groaned, clutching her stomach. Kakashi stepped closer, calmly picking up the bell. Think before using a jutsu, or it will be used against you, he said, tossing the bell lightly in his hand. And don't fall for obvious traps, idiot. Ugh. I'm not thinking straight with all this. Ugh. Naruto muttered. But then she noticed Sasuke moving a bush aside to reveal a little pile of berries with a bamboo canteen. She blinked. How does he know exactly what I need? A ninja must be able to read what's underneath the underneath, Sasuke explained quietly, glancing at her. I know that stuff, Naruto shouted, flailing her arms in excitement. I'm telling you because you don't, Sasuke said calmly, stepping aside to give her space. Naruto grabbed the berries, gobbled them down, and quickly took her medicine with water from the canteen. A small note from Sasuke fluttered nearby. Dobi. I hope you use this to take your meds. Also, be more careful with your body. Taking care of it is the best thing. Sasuke. She knows? Naruto whispered, eyes wide. But how? She shook her head. Doesn't matter now. She sat before a stone, noticing a lunch placed neatly on top. Hee, instead of chasing the bell, I can just enjoy this lunch. Hee. Hey, buddy, Kakashi said from behind. Naruto jumped slightly, face turning red. 10 minutes later, all three students were at the stumps. Naruto was tied lightly to one while Sasuke and Sakura sat nearby. Kakashi stood with his arms crossed. Well, there's no need for you to go back to the academy, he said calmly. The three looked at him in surprise. Then, all three of you. Naruto started, hoping for a fun explanation. Should quit as ninjas, Kakashi said with a small smirk. Quit? Naruto gasped. Why? Because all of you are just punks who don't deserve to be ninjas, Kakashi said boldly. Sasuke scowled, Sakura frowned, and Naruto's brow furrowed in confusion. Are you underestimating ninjas? Why do you think you're in teams and doing this training? Kakashi asked, his single visible eye twinkling behind his mask. Huh? Sakura blinked. Basically, Kakashi said, you don't understand the answer to this test. The answer? Naruto asked, leaning forward. Yes. The answer that helps you pass, he said, glancing at Sasuke. And the answer is. He paused dramatically. Teamwork. All three widened their eyes. You mean? Working together is the point? Sakura asked. But there are only two bells. Exactly, Kakashi said, smiling. This test is meant to make you squabble. But the real lesson? Teamwork makes even the impossible possible. Naruko's eyes sparkled. So, we didn't fail because we didn't get the bells alone? Nope, Kakashi said. You passed because you learned to think together. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto exchanged glances, and finally, laughter bubbled out. Even in training, they had learned something far more important than winning. They had learned to rely on each other, and that made them stronger than any bell could. The purpose is to see whether you can forget about your own interests. Naruto gritted her teeth as she listened. And successfully worked together. Kakashi looked directly at Sasuke. Under these designed circumstances. He glanced at Sakura. Yet, you guys. Sakura jolted. Sakura, instead of Naruto, who was right next to you, you were only thinking about Sasuke, who was far away. Naruto. You were just running around by yourself. Naruto felt a bead of sweat slide down her temple. Sasuke. You just assumed the others would get in your way and tried to. Sasuke clenched his teeth as he looked at Naruto. Do everything yourself. Good, he didn't notice me helping Naruto. Her muscles ached a little from Kakashi holding her steady for so long. Maybe I can use this later. Get off of her, perv. Naruto thought. He is the only one who really knows and isn't showing me disgust because of it. The duties are done by the team. Of course, individual skill is important to a ninja. But what's even more important is teamwork. Individual actions that disrupt the team can put your friends in danger. Kakashi dug in his pouch again. Sakura shifted back a little, curious. And even if you're faced with danger, for example, Sakura. Protect Naruto. Kakashi quickly brandished a kunai only to place it gently near Sasuke's shoulder. Or Sasuke could be in trouble. Sakura gasped. What? Naruto glanced from face to face, alarmed. He can't do this. You see? If someone is in danger, you will have tough choices, and you must think carefully to protect each other. Kakashi released Sasuke. Oh, you surprised me. Sakura exhaled, relief washing over her. Phew. Naruto thought as the tension melted from her shoulders. You will be risking yourselves in these duties, Kakashi said, walking away from them. Sasuke rubbed the back of his neck, easing his tense muscles. Look at this, Kakashi said, placing a hand on a stone monument. These are the names of ninjas recognized as heroes of the village. Naruto's ears perked up. Hey. I'm going to get my name on that stone too. Hero. That's what I'll be, she shouted, eyes sparkling. Sakura's face bloomed with annoyance. Bah! Sasuke muttered, standing close to Naruto. Her bright energy made the air feel warm, almost sweet. But, they aren't just normal heroes, Kakashi said, his back turned. Oh yeah? Then what kind are they? Naruto asked with a grin, undeterred. They are all heroes who devoted themselves to helping others, Kakashi said. Naruto's grin softened into quiet admiration. She glanced at Sasuke, whose eyes were gentle, a sheen of emotion glimmering in them. Sakura's face mirrored the tender weight of the moment, and Naruto felt a swell of courage and hope. You all have one more chance, Kakashi said. After lunch, the challenges will be even trickier. Those who want to try can have lunch, but no one can share their food with Naruto. Huh? Naruto blinked at Kakashi, stomach rumbling. It's a lesson about sharing and teamwork. I am the rules here. Understood? Kakashi disappeared with a small puff of smoke. Sakura looked at her teammates thoughtfully. Hey! I don't need food. I'm fine, Naruto declared, though her stomach gave a loud protest 10 minutes later. Sasuke, noticing, quietly offered some of his bento. Here. He hid his face slightly, a soft blush coloring his cheeks. Naruto gasped. He cares about me? Sakura's eyes widened in surprise. But Sensei said. Don't worry, I don't sense anyone near us. After lunch, we'll work together for the bells, Sasuke's gentle thought reassured Naruto. Her cheeks warmed, and a little tear threatened to escape. Sakura, moved by the gesture, slid her own bento closer to Naruto. Naruto blinked. Sakura, maybe she isn't so bad. She laughed softly, her eyes bright with gratitude. Kakashi watched from behind a tree, smiling. He, thanks, she thought, savoring the kindness from both Sasuke and Sakura. As they shared lunch, Naruto's heart felt lighter. Every little act of thoughtfulness, every shared bite, was a reminder of how teamwork and caring could turn a challenge into a moment of joy. That ends the training. All of you pass, Kakashi said, thumbs up. Starting tomorrow, Team 7 will begin its duties. Yay! I did it! I did it! Naruto cheered, tears of happiness glimmering. Ninja! 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 Let's go, Sakura said cheerfully. Hell yeah! Sasuke added. I almost forgot, Naruto said, still bouncing with excitement. How about we celebrate at the onsen? Onsen? She thought, smiling. A reward that's warm and fun, this sounds perfect. Naruto had never been to the fancy onsen in the upper-class part of the village before. She peeked nervously at the steaming baths, her bright blue eyes wide with curiosity. This place is huge. How did Sasuke even find it? She whispered to herself. Sasuke, calm as ever, smiled a little and gestured toward the baths. I come here sometimes to relax, he said. Don't worry, it's very peaceful. Naruto fidgeted with her towel, her face turning a soft pink. I've never been to an onsen this fancy, she admitted. What if I mess something up? Sasuke chuckled softly. You won't. Just enjoy it. They walked down the corridor together, the gentle sound of water and warm steam filling the air. Sasuke opened the door to the main bath, revealing a quiet room filled with gentle, swirling steam and crystal clear water. You're the first person I've brought here in years, he said, his dark eyes sparkling. I'm glad it's you. Naruto smiled shyly and dipped a toe into the warm water. The soothing warmth made her sigh happily. It's so nice, she said, feeling the tension in her shoulders melt away. Sasuke sat across from her, and for a moment, they simply enjoyed the quiet together. Then he spoke softly. Naruto, I wanted to tell you. You're special. You're kind, brave, and I've always enjoyed spending time with you. Naruto felt her heart swell. I like spending time with you too, Sasuke, she said, smiling. I've always felt comfortable around you. They laughed as they played with the water, gently splashing each other and sharing stories of their adventures in the village. The warm bath, the soft steam, and the quiet friendship made the day feel magical. By the time they left, Naruto's cheeks were rosy, and her hair glistened from the steam. Thank you for bringing me here, she said sincerely. It was the best day ever. Sasuke smiled. Anytime. There's no one I'd rather share it with. And so, Naruto learned that some of the most special moments were the simple ones, laughing with friends, sharing secrets, and enjoying the warmth of a peaceful bath together. 4 months later. Team 7 stood before the Hokage, reporting the results of their last mission. The Hokage turned his weathered face toward them. Now, Kakashi's Team 7, your next duty is. He glanced at the paper holding their assignment. Babysitting an elder's grandson, shopping in the neighboring village, and helping with the potato digging. No. 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 No, thank you. Naruto crossed her arms in front of her like an X. I want to do, a more incredible mission. Find us a better one. I agree. Sasuke thought quietly. Geez, how annoying. Sakura's face showed her exasperation. Sigh. I thought it was about time. Kakashi's mask didn't hide his tired expression. You idiot. You are just a rookie. Everyone starts off with the simple duties and works their way up, Iruka shouted at Naruto, while the Hokage shook his head. But. We keep getting the crappiest possible duties. Naruto protested. Be quiet, you, Kakashi said as he lightly tapped her head. Naruto. It seems I must explain to you what these duties are all about, the Hokage said. Listen, every day the village receives numerous requests, from babysitting to, missions of every kind. Each request is written down on these lists and divided into A, B, C, and D ranks based on difficulty. The village is also organized based on skill, starting with the Jonin, then Chonin, and finally Jinan. Naruto's mind began to wander. She thought of the delicious miso ramen she had last night and muttered softly, maybe dinner tonight should be miso again. Kakashi's single visible eye glanced at her sharply. Hey! Listen! The Hokage raised his voice. I apologize, Kakashi muttered, rubbing the back of his head. Geez. All you do is give lectures like that, Naruto said, spinning around on the floor. But you know what? I'm not the troublemaking brat you still think I am. Iruka blinked, speechless, while the Hokage smiled gently. Okay, the Hokage replied to her. Huh? Naruto looked up in surprise. If you want it that much. Sasuke added, taking his eyes off Naruto to glance at the Hokage. Exclamation mark, Sakura gasped, and Kakashi looked equally shocked. I'll give you a C-rank mission, the Hokage said with a warm smile. She used to only be able to express herself through pranks, he thought fondly. It's a protection mission for a certain individual. Yay! Naruto grinned from ear to ear. Who? A feudal lord? A princess? Calm down, I'm about to introduce them, the Hokage said. Hey, will you come in here? The door creaked open, and an elderly man stepped in, leaning slightly on the frame. He carried a small satchel and a bottle of something that smelled strong, though he only took a small sip. What's this? They're all a bunch of super brats, the man said, pausing to rest his arm on the doorframe. Especially the shortest one with the super determined looking face. Are you really a ninja, huh? Naruto's laughter froze. She looked down at herself. She was the shortest one on the team. Her face flushed bright red, a mix of embarrassment and fiery determination. I'll show you what I can do. What's the point of scaring the person we're supposed to protect? Idiot. Kakashi muttered under his breath. I'm the super expert bridge builder Tazuna, the man said, setting down his satchel. I expect you to provide me super protection until I get back to my country and finish building my bridge. Naruto puffed up her chest, a determined sparkle in her eyes. Leave it to me. I'll make sure nothing happens to you. Not a single thing. Sakura and Sasuke exchanged surprised looks. Even Kakashi's eye widened slightly beneath his mask. Naruto had transformed in that moment, from the mischievous, prank-loving girl they knew into a determined little protector ready for adventure. And so, with the sun shining above the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto and Team 7 set off on their newest mission, one full of teamwork, laughter, and the promise of small but mighty adventures. The team met Tazuna at the gates. Naruto bounced on her toes, her eyes sparkling with excitement as she took in the view beyond the village. Let's go, she exclaimed, spinning around in a wide circle. Sakura raised an eyebrow. What are you so excited about? She muttered, slightly annoyed at Naruto's boundless energy. Because I've never left the village before. Naruto replied, her grin stretching from ear to ear as she gazed at the forest and hills beyond the gates. Tazuna frowned, giving Kakashi a worried glance. Hey! Am I really going to be safe with this child? Kakashi chuckled beneath his mask. Don't worry. She's full of energy, but I'm a jounin. We'll be fine. Naruto puffed out her chest proudly. I'm going to be the greatest ninja ever. One day, I'll become Hokage. Tazuna blinked. Hokage? That's the village's top ninja, right? I doubt someone like her could. Shut up. Naruto interrupted, stamping her foot. I'll do whatever it takes to become Hokage. You'll see. Sakura shook her head but smiled secretly. Naruto's determination was impossible to ignore. As they traveled, Sakura asked cautiously, Tazuna-san, you're from the Wave Country, right? Do they have ninjas there? Kakashi nodded. Not in the Wave Country, but hidden villages exist in many lands. Every village has its strongest ninja, usually led by someone like a Hokage. Naruto's eyes sparkled even brighter. Wow! Hokage-sama must be amazing. They continued walking through puddles left by morning rain. Suddenly, a playful splash caught their attention. From the water, a group of mischievous water sprites appeared, laughing and twirling their tiny chains of glowing bubbles. Huh? Sakura gasped. Naruto giggled. What are these? The water sprites zipped around Kakashi, trying to tie his arms in harmless, twisting loops of bubbles. Kakashi moved gracefully, dodging and twirling, making it all look like a magical dance. Sasuke leapt forward, tossing a sparkling leaf charm to catch one of the sprites in mid-air. Gotcha, he said with a grin. Naruto's eyes widened. Sasuke! You're amazing. Sakura quickly helped Tazuna back, keeping him safe as the sprites bounced and twirled around the group. Kakashi finally corralled them gently, holding them close so they couldn't escape. Phew, that was close, Tazuna sighed, smiling with relief. Naruto bounced excitedly. Wow! Did you see that? Everyone was so brave. Kakashi ruffled her hair. Good job, Naruto. You stayed calm even when things got tricky. Naruto blinked at him, feeling proud.
I wasn't scared at all.
Sasuke smirked. That's my brave friend. You handled it wonderfully. Naruto grinned, feeling warm inside. Even though it was her first adventure outside the village, she realized she wasn't alone. With friends by her side and a big, exciting world ahead, she could take on anything, even the path to becoming Hokage. Kazuna chuckled softly. You know, I think this little ninja might really have what it takes. Naruko puffed out her chest again, laughing. Just wait. My adventures are only just beginning. And with that, the team continued down the path, the sun shining above them, their hearts full of courage and friendship. After Kakashi gently scolded the old man for exaggerating the dangers of the mission, he turned to look at Naruko. I guess we should return to the village to help you rest, he said kindly. Naruko's bright eyes sparkled with determination, but a storm of feeling swirled inside her. She clenched her fists, trying to hold back tears. Why does it feel like I'm always behind? Why am I always not enough? She whispered to herself. I want to be strong, strong enough to help everyone, strong enough to protect myself. Sakura noticed her friend trembling and hurried over. Naruko. What's wrong? She asked, worry lacing her voice. Sasuke's brow furrowed with concern, his usual calm faltering for a moment. I've been practicing every day, Naruko said, her voice quivering but firm. I've learned so many jutsu, and I've tried so hard not to rely on anyone, but I still feel like I'm a burden. I want to protect people too, just like they protect me. Sasuke's eyes softened as he listened, realizing just how much courage Naruko had. Kakashi stepped closer, his expression gentle. Naruko, he said, true strength isn't about never needing help. Strength is knowing when to ask for it, and sharing the load with those who care about you. Naruko took a deep breath. She looked at the old man who had caused the confusion earlier and then at her friends. Her small hand rested on the edge of the scroll they were carrying. Then I'll try my best, she said, a determined smile breaking through. Not alone, but with everyone by my side. I'll protect the mission, and I'll do it with all my heart. Sakura and Sasuke both smiled warmly, and even the old man gave a sheepish nod of approval. Kakashi ruffled her hair lightly. That's the spirit, Naruko. Courage isn't about being alone, it's about having the heart to keep going, together. Naruko's heart felt lighter. She realized that being brave didn't mean she had to carry everything herself. With friends beside her, every step forward felt stronger, brighter, and full of hope. And so, the group continued their journey, laughing, learning, and growing together, ready for whatever adventure awaited them next. Naruko. It's good that you are releasing the poison, but... Kakashi trailed off as the whole group looked at him. Naruko stared at her hands, trembling, not noticing the small scratch she had gotten from climbing a tree. Any more and... You might faint from losing too much energy, Kakashi said seriously. Naruko's eyes widened. No. I can't faint now. I have to help, she whispered frantically, her body shaking. Kakashi gently took her small hand. Let's see. He examined the tiny scratch. If I didn't know your secret, I would never guess you're a girl with so much bravery. Naruko blushed, looking down at her hand. The scratch slowly healed on its own, glowing softly as the warmth of her energy worked through it. Sensei. Am I going to be okay? She asked nervously. You should be fine, Kakashi said with a small smile, gently wrapping the spot with a clean leaf. Must be the magic of your inner strength. Kazuna, the old boat captain, watched closely. Sensei. I need to speak with you, he said softly, lowering his voice. Kakashi nodded. The fog surrounding the bridge thickened. What thick mist. I can barely see ahead, Sakura complained, squinting at the swirling gray haze. We should see the bridge soon. The wave country lies at its base, Kakashi replied. Slowly, the bridge emerged, stretching across the wide river. Wow. It's huge, Naruko gasped, her eyes sparkling with awe. Shh, a sailor warned. We're hiding in the mist, remember? If Gato sees us, we'll be in trouble. Naruko quickly covered her mouth in silent apology, looking like a tiny, nervous kitten. Sakura watched her teammates curiously, while Kazuna pulled Kakashi aside. Sensei. It's about this mission, he said. A very powerful and tricky man is after my shipment. A powerful man? Naruko asked. His name is Gato. He owns a large shipping company, but secretly he causes trouble everywhere, Kazuna explained. Naruko's eyes widened in surprise. Later, Naruko couldn't resist her curiosity. She spotted a bush moving slightly and threw a small kunai to see what was hiding. Naruko. Stop, Sakura scolded, but Naruko's eyes followed the motion. A tiny white rabbit jumped out from the bush. Naruko gasped and picked it up carefully. I didn't mean to hurt you, little rabbit, she whispered, holding it gently. Ah. Just a rabbit, Tazuna said, relieved. Kakashi squinted thoughtfully. Someone must be playing tricks using ninja skills, he muttered under his breath. High above, a mysterious figure with his face hidden watched silently, preparing to test their skills. Everyone, get ready. Kakashi called. We must protect Tazuna, but don't engage directly. Watch carefully. Naruto felt her heart beat fast, but she clenched her tiny fists. I have to do my best. I can't be a burden. Dash. Zabuza, the masked ninja, appeared on the water, performing unusual hand signs. The fog thickened, making it hard to see. He's moving so fast, Naruto whispered, gripping her kunai tightly. The mist is getting thicker. She called to the others, her voice trembling but determined. Sakura and Sasuke flanked her, their eyes sharp, ready to protect their friend. Naruto took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of her own inner energy. She focused on sensing movement, listening to every sound. Slowly, she spotted a shadow moving near a tree branch. There. Over there, she whispered, pointing. Together, the group worked as a team, using their clever ninja skills, quick thinking, and courage to stay safe while navigating the misty bridge. Naruto felt a new confidence rise inside her. She wasn't just a tiny girl, she was a brave ninja, ready to face the unknown with her friends by her side. Liver, lungs, brain. Kidneys, heart. Which one should I protect first? The young genins tensed nervously, unsure what to do. Kakashi felt the weight of the moment, the quiet tension pressing down like a thick fog. Then, with a whisper of motion, she began weaving hand signs, calm and focused. Her students and Tazuna's eyes widened, caught between fear and awe. What an incredibly strong presence. I've never felt anything like this, Sasuke murmured, beads of sweat on his forehead. It's overwhelming. His body shook slightly, and he whispered, I can't just stand here. Sasuke. Naruto called gently from behind her, but now it was Naruto. Don't worry. I'll protect you all. Sasuke's cheeks flushed, embarrassed but reassured. We won't let anyone hurt our friends, Kakashi said, a soft smile beneath her mask. Suddenly, Zabuza appeared in the middle of the group, her sword gleaming. It's over, she said, her voice cutting through the air. Kakashi reacted instantly, stepping forward to shield her students. With precise skill, she thrust a kunai, striking what she realized was only a water clone. Zabuza's real form emerged from the mist, and the battle intensified, but there was no blood, only water splashing and dancing around them as their techniques collided. Water clone no jutsu? Kakashi murmured in surprise. She copied it. The clones vanished and reappeared, creating a dazzling display of strategy and cleverness. You've learned well, Zabuza admitted, a flicker of respect in her eyes. But I'm not finished yet. Even as the fight continued, Naruto's students watched in awe. The silver-haired ninja moved with grace and calm, her determination shining brighter than the morning sun. Naruto herself felt her heart steady. This is what being a ninja is really about, she thought. It's not just about strength, it's about courage, protecting your friends, and never giving up. Then, something remarkable happened. In a moment of clever strategy, Naruto's disguise shimmered. Her usual bright orange jacket had shifted into a skirt and black shorts, her hair now tied into playful pigtails. She looked every bit the confident, daring ninja she had always been, but with her true self shining through. Leaf Village Ninja. Uzumaki Naruto, she declared, tying her forehead protector proudly around her head. The words echoed in the hearts of everyone present. Sakura blinked and stood tall, inspired by Naruto's bravery. You did it, Naruto. She cheered, ready to help Tazuna. Kakashi watched her student, quietly impressed. So that's why she's so determined. She's not just brave, she's clever and kind-hearted, too. Sasuke leaned closer, eyes wide with admiration. Naruto. Lend me your ear, he said softly. What is it? Naruto asked, her voice steady, ready to hear whatever her teammate needed to share. In that moment, standing together by the misty river, the young ninja team felt a new kind of strength. Not just from their skills, but from trust, friendship, and the courage to be themselves, even in the face of the unknown. I have a plan, Naruto said with a mischievous grin. A plan? Here? Sasuke raised an eyebrow, the tiniest smirk playing on his lips. From you, Naruto? Sakura watched them carefully, her cheeks tinged with pink. There's something different about this, she whispered to herself. It's like watching two friends teasing each other, but sweeter somehow. Alright. Naruko's grin grew wider. Let's put this plan into motion. The situation felt tense, but everyone could feel Naruko's energy buzzing in the air. Kakashi's eye twitched under his headband. Naruko, remember, our goal is to protect Tazuna-san. Don't get carried away. Naruko's eyes twinkled as she glanced at the elderly bridge builder. Of course. But a little bit of fun never hurts, right? Tazuna chuckled. Well. I've always believed that a little creativity makes even the most serious work worthwhile. Go ahead, girls and boys, show me what you've got. Sasuke leaned closer to Naruko, offering a quiet encouragement. You hear that? Let's do this together. Ready? Naruko asked, her grin practically sparkling. Her shadow clone technique sprung into action, creating multiple copies of herself, each as cheerful and determined as she was. Shadow clone jutsu. The clones bounded around, giggling and flipping through the air, giving Sasuke and the others a chance to set their plan in motion. Wow, so many Narukos, Sakura whispered, amazed as the clones whirled around like dancers in a grand performance. Naruko darted across the ground, her backpack bouncing lightly as she reached for her shuriken. With a quick flick of her wrist, the shuriken twirled in the air, guided by clever hand signs and even cleverer timing. Her real self moved in tandem with her clones, creating a dazzling, synchronized display that made her opponents dizzy with surprise. Shadow Shuriken no Jutsu, Naruko shouted, sending a flurry of shuriken spinning through the air in perfect arcs. Each one moved as if it had a mind of its own, weaving around obstacles and heading toward the target with playful precision. Sasuke followed her lead, his own moves complementing hers perfectly. Together, they created a dance of light, shadow, and skill that was impossible not to admire. Finally, with one final spin, Naruko leapt high and threw a sparkling, harmless kunai that landed neatly at the feet of their target. The display wasn't about winning or losing, it was about cleverness, teamwork, and creativity. Kakashi shook his head, a small smile beneath his mask. Naruko. You really have grown. That plan was brilliant. Naruko laughed, lifting her arms to the sky. Sometimes, you just need to think a little differently. And, of course, have fun while you're at it. Sakura clapped her hands with delight. That was amazing, Naruko. Everyone's smiles are proof, this was a perfect plan. Tazuna nodded in approval. Yes. Sometimes courage isn't about fighting, it's about using your heart, your mind, and your friends to solve problems. You all did wonderfully. Naruko's eyes sparkled as she hugged her clones, who winked back at her. We did it together. She cheered. And for a moment, everything felt light, bright, and full of possibilities, a reminder that even in tricky situations, clever thinking and friendship could turn any challenge into a fun adventure. Naruko climbed out of the water, her hair dripping and her blue eyes wide with surprise as she noticed the hunter Nin standing calmly on the riverbank. Zabuza lay motionless on the ground, his eyes dim, and Kakashi quietly appeared next to him, checking his vitals. Everyone's faces were thoughtful, their breaths held as they watched. He really is gone, Kakashi murmured, his single visible eye narrowing as it shifted to the hunter Nin. Thank you very much, the young ninja said, bowing politely. I've been hoping for the chance to stop Zabuza for a long time. That mask, you're a hidden mist hunter Nin, Kakashi said, studying the figure. Correct, the young hunter replied, still bowing slightly. Hunter Nin? Naruko asked, stepping forward instinctively, her hands clenched at her sides. What's that? My duty is to track missing ninjas, the hunter Nin explained. I'm a member of the Hidden Mist Hunter Nin team. Kakashi's mind worked quietly. From her voice and size, she's probably not much older than Naruko. Yet she's a hunter Nin. Definitely not an ordinary kid. Naruko's gaze sharpened as she stared at the hunter Nin. Her heart raced with a mix of amazement and frustration. She swung her gaze toward Kakashi, who was still kneeling by Zabuza, then back to the hunter Nin. She clenched her fists and gritted her teeth, unable to hide the shock in her bright eyes. Who are you? Naruko finally shouted, pointing at the hunter Nin. Sasuke blinked in surprise, while Sakura stepped back, startled by Naruko's outburst. Don't worry, Naruko. She's not the enemy, Kakashi reassured, standing up slowly. I'm not asking that, Naruko shouted, pacing a little. That Zabuza was defeated. And by a kid. A kid not much different from me. How is that even possible? Kakashi walked closer, keeping his calm, steady presence. I understand how you feel, he said gently, but sometimes, the world surprises us. There are kids out there. Younger than you. He gave a small, kind smile. Who are stronger than we expect. Naruto looked up at him, a mix of awe and disbelief on her face. She felt a little warmth rise in her cheeks, though she tried to hide it with a frown. The hunter nin moved gracefully from her spot to kneel beside Zabuza. She carefully lifted him over her shoulder. Your journey ends here, she said softly, almost kindly. And now, I must take care of this body. There are too many secrets to leave behind. She raised her hand in a small gesture, then disappeared along with Zabuza, leaving only a gentle ripple in the water where they had been. She's gone, Naruto exclaimed, still blinking in shock. Kakashi adjusted his headband over his Sharingan eye and said quietly, now, we should get Tazuna-san home safely. Let's go. Naruto let out a relieved laugh, though her mind still spun with what she had just seen. Ha ha. Super thanks, everyone. Tazuna cheered, his spirits high as he gestured toward his house. Come over and rest for a while. Before anyone could answer, Kakashi stumbled slightly and fell to the ground. Huh? Sensei? Sakura gasped. Naruto. Kakashi-sensei. She called, rushing forward, panic in her voice. Kakashi lay there, breathing quietly. My body won't move. I used my Sharingan too much. He thought, a small shadow of embarrassment crossing his face. Naruto knelt beside him, brushing his hair gently back. It's okay, Kakashi-sensei, she said softly. We'll take care of you. And for a moment, under the bright sky and near the quiet river, the team shared a peaceful silence, their hearts lighter knowing that even in a world of surprises and challenges, courage and kindness always shone brightest. Okay, we will now start the training, Kakashi said as he addressed his team in the forest not far from Tazuna's house. Yes. Let's do this, Naruto shouted, bouncing with excitement. Okay. Before that, Kakashi leaned heavily on the crutches that supported a good portion of his weight. I want to talk to you about the shinobi ability, chakra. Naruto squinted her eyes. I think I've heard about it somewhere. What's chakra? You're a ninja and you don't know that? What do you learn in school? Sakura exclaimed, wagging her finger. Kakashi lowered his head and shook it slowly. Hee. I sometimes nap during the hardest classes. Naruto admitted with a sheepish grin. But it wasn't really my fault, Sarutobi-sensei kept giving us genjutsu homework late into the night. This is not good. Kakashi thought. He let Sakura take over the explanation, and she did so with all the confidence of someone who really enjoyed teaching. Hey? I don't understand all those fancy words. Isn't chakra something you use with your body? Naruto asked, tilting her head. Sakura almost glared at her but quickly shook it off. Naruto is right. We can already use jutsu, Sasuke said calmly. Nope. Kakashi replied, looking at them with a bored expression. You're not using chakra properly yet. What? Naruto squealed in surprise, her voice high with curiosity. Well, listen. Kakashi paused and looked at his students. As Sakura said earlier, to release chakra means to bring out your physical and spiritual energy and mix them together inside your body. Right now, you're not controlling it effectively. Even if you release a lot of chakra, if you can't control it, your jutsu will weaken, or might not even work at all. And if you waste your energy, you won't last long during missions. These are the weaknesses you need to overcome. So, what should we do? Naruto asked, her grin widening as she bounced in place. Learn to control it. Through very careful training, Kakashi said. Naruto's excitement mixed with a hint of nervousness. What kind of training? Sakura asked, frowning, while Sasuke silently observed Naruto. Tree climbing, Kakashi said casually. Tree climbing? The three students exclaimed in unison. Yes. Kakashi shrugged. Sounds boring. Naruto thought, though her eyes gleamed with curiosity. What kind of training is that? Sakura asked, her suspicion obvious. Watch closely, Kakashi said, demonstrating. He put his hands together in a seal, focused his chakra, and placed one foot on the base of a tree. Slowly, to their amazement, he walked up the tree vertically, using only his legs to stick to the bark, until he stopped upside down on a branch. Naruto gasped. He's climbing the tree. Without his hands. Now you understand, Kakashi said, smiling beneath his mask. Gather chakra in your feet and climb. This is something you can do once you've learned to control your chakra well. Wait. How will climbing a tree make us stronger? Sakura shouted. Listen carefully, Kakashi said, turning serious. The purpose of this training is to teach you how to control chakra, how to direct just the right amount to the right part of your body. This is the most important skill for using jutsu effectively. Through tree climbing, you build the stamina and precision needed to control your chakra. He pulled 3 kunai from his pocket. Use these to mark how high you climb. Then try to surpass that mark. You won't succeed at first, so get some momentum and run up the tree if needed. This is easy, Naruto shouted with determination, twirling her kunai with a grin. I could do this before breakfast. I'm the most improved. Stop bragging and pick a tree, Kakashi said with mock sternness. Naruto focused, gathering chakra in her feet. Dust swirled around her shoes as she took her first step up the trunk, then slipped and landed softly on the ground. Ouch! Sasuke made it 9 steps before the bark cracked under his feet from too much chakra. He quickly marked his progress, flipped, and landed gracefully. Control is tricky. Too much and the tree cracks, too little and you can't stick. Naruto looked at Sasuke, then laughed as she bounced back to try again. This is fun. Sakura called, perching on her tree and sticking out her tongue, kunai planted beside her mark. Come on, Naruto-chan. Sakura cheered. Naruto's eyes sparkled as she prepared for her next climb. This was only the beginning of a wonderful, magical adventure in learning to control her chakra. And she couldn't wait to reach the very top. It looks like the best at controlling chakra right now is Sakura, Kakashi announced, his calm voice carrying across the training field. Naruto was still kneeling, a bit disappointed in herself. Wow! You're amazing, Sakura. That's the girl I knew I could count on, Naruto shouted, her bright smile lighting up her face. Inside, though, a little pang of frustration tugged at her heart. That should have been me, or maybe Sasuke, she thought. She lowered her gaze, feeling a little glum, until something caught her attention. Sasuke had gotten up and quietly walked over to Naruto to check where her head had bumped the ground. His hand gently brushed her hair back, and his face softened into a warm, concerned smile. Naruto's heart skipped a beat. No way. Wow, not only does she understand chakra, but her control and stamina are really impressive. As of now, Sakura is the closest to becoming Hokage, unlike a certain someone, Kakashi added with a teasing tone. Naruto winced as Sasuke accidentally pressed a little harder on her head than necessary. I guess the Uchiha clan isn't exactly perfect either, Kakashi muttered, and Naruto felt her cheeks heat up. Shut up, sensei, she exclaimed, quickly throwing a kunai in his direction, not to hurt him, of course, but just to show she was serious. He's going to get mad at me. He always does when someone teases Naruto, or me. The boys glanced at each other, sharing a quiet moment of understanding. Kakashi observed thoughtfully. Of course, Naruto and Sasuke have an extraordinary amount of chakra. If their training goes well, they could become powerful assets for the village. Naruto's eyes sparkled with determination. Okay. First, I'm going to catch Sasuke. I can do this, she thought, plotting her next move. Just then, Tazuna's grandson peeked out from behind a tree, his little eyes wide with curiosity. Naruto grinned. The game was about to begin, and her heart raced with excitement and joy. Ah! Ouch! Naruto leaned against the tree, rubbing the large knot forming on her head. Sasuke knelt 5 feet away, panting from the climb. His tree was covered with small scratches and marks from his earlier attempts. Sakura lay down in front of her tree, catching her breath. I'm worn out. What stamina those two have, she murmured, shaking her head as she looked at Naruto. But Naruto doesn't seem like she's about to give up yet. I wonder how much more she can push herself. Sakura. Could you give me some tips? Naruto asked quietly, crouching down beside her. Sakura's eyes widened, surprised. Of course. Focus on your footing and your balance. Don't rush, let your energy flow with each movement. Kakashi watched from a distance, folding his arms. Naruto's chakra potential is impressive. Maybe even higher than Sasuke's. This is going to be interesting. The two competitors continued climbing. Naruto's speed was a little faster, and she landed each mark with careful precision. Almost. There, she whispered to herself. Her eyes followed Sasuke as he made a leap and placed another mark higher than before. Darn it! He keeps climbing higher and higher, she exclaimed, panting. But then she remembered Sakura's advice. Focus on balance, not speed. Taking a deep breath, Naruto steadied herself and pushed upward, finding a better rhythm. Sasuke called out, Hey, Naruto. Watch your footing. Naruto laughed, wobbling slightly but keeping her grip. Thanks, Sasuke. I'm learning from you too. The two friends encouraged each other, sharing laughs when they slipped and cheers when they succeeded. Finally, both reached a branch high up, panting but smiling. We both did it, Naruto said, beaming. Yeah, Sasuke replied, offering a hand to help her down. That was amazing. Kakashi stepped forward with a small smile under his mask. Good job, both of you. You pushed yourselves and learned from each other. Now, head back to town and rest, you've earned it. Naruto and Sasuke climbed down, still laughing and joking, already thinking about their next friendly challenge. And that's a wrap for this segment, but trust me, this is only the beginning. There's a lot more waiting just beyond the horizon, twists, discoveries, and moments that'll make you see things differently. Stay with me, because the next chapter promises to be bigger, bolder, and unforgettable. Until then, keep your passion alive and your curiosity sharp. With all my respect and energy. 6th Path Weeb.